Good afternoon, everyone. We're super excited here to have a cooking show for you today. I'm going to call it a cooking show. And I'm very excited to share with you. We brought in one of our vendors, one of our very close vendors and very excited vendors, Unilever Food Solutions of Canada. So wave, ladies. And there's a 10-second delay, so you'll see that later. But we're super excited to have you guys on here, and we're going to show you some ideas today. Really amazing what they put together. So I hope everyone can sit back, enjoy a little bit of what we're going to bring to you. And we're going to bring, this is one of 3 shows we're going to bring to you that's really going to share some ideas around snapping back into the industry with some culinary and some great recipes they put together for us today. So I'm going to pass it over to them and let them kind of run the show. I've got some questions during the show, and we're super excited about it. So we're ready to snap back, and we're hopefully to provide you some great solutions. So over to you, ladies.
Thanks, Jay. This is Natasha speaking from Unilever. And yeah, thank you so much for having us on today and for everyone who's joining in. And I'd like to introduce you to someone I'm very proud to work with for many years. Chef Kyla Tuori is our corporate chef for Unilever Food Solutions Canada. She's going to take you through 3 tips for successful delivery and curbside pickup in the new normal, and as well take us through a cooking demonstration with inspirational recipe that you can maximize the ingredients that you have and really please your guests in today's world. So with that, Chef Kyla, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, guys. Jay, Natasha, you're amazing. So before I actually get into my cooking show portion of this, thanks, Jay, for having so much faith in me that it's that entertaining. I also wish I had minions to do my mise en place, but I digress. I'm really excited to be here today. So let's get to that PowerPoint slide. As a typical chef, let's get to that PowerPoint slide. So right at the beginning, Natasha, DJ.
Yep, this one.
We're going to make it as authentic as it can be.
Exactly. Today. I want everybody that's watching to feel really comfortable in seeing how comfortable we are with you. Exactly. So no, this is absolutely perfect. I am just going to kind of say, we talk about SnapBack, we talk about the new normal. None of us know what that's exactly going to be like. We've had instances in the past, whether it was after economic downturn and how businesses came back. But of course, that can't predict what's going to happen here, especially with the restaurant industry where it's all about the entertainment, the bringing people together, being in close proximity of each other, all the things that we have not been allowed to do for a couple of months now. I don't know about you, I miss it. I miss my friends and family. But how do we do this safely? How do we come back? I know that we're talking to, a larger audience here that's in a variety of different provinces, maybe different countries. We're all coming back at different times, and what that looks like is going to look very different. But I think the one thing that we can say is that delivery, takeout, curbside pickup, they've really changed forever. You're going to have people that aren't comfortable going into a restaurant, even if it is at 25, 50% capacity, even if they don't want to go onto the patio. So let's say this first part of it is understanding and how to make the most out of that delivery, takeout, curbside pickup, okay? So we'll get more into what you're actually going to be serving. And I really wanted to start off with safety tips. So, a lot of you already know this, it's very basic. But for those of you who have not engaged with either delivery, curbside, takeout, there's some key ideas here that can really resonate with everybody. So the first one is, if you are working with a delivery partner, it is ensuring that you are working with a delivery partner that absolutely meets your standards. So of course, you take a lot of pride in the operation that you're running. You take all these extra steps. Well, that's not where your service ends. That's obvious, right? There's that period between when it leaves your restaurant and actually gets to the customer. So it's ensuring that we know, how are they packaging the food? How is it being delivered? What is the estimated time in which it's going to be delivered? That majorly affects how we package something, what it's going to be packaged in. So that is a big thing we need to think about. So moving on to that, packaging integrity. We know that this can be really challenging, especially because there is also that huge drive to have things be more sustainable as well. I think very thankfully a lot of people are aware of, especially right now with this virus and transmitting and certain materials, that I think we have some more knowledge around. So it's really focusing on this food quality, whether we want biodegradable materials, because of course, the materials that you use, the packaging that you use speaks to your brand image, right? We got to think about that. If you're using styrofoam for everything, what image does that give? Not to say that that's right or wrong, but that, or plastic, or again, a biodegradable sort of material, what does that say? So that's something to take into consideration. Ingredient spoilage. I mean, this is like number one all the time, not even just during COVID time. That's right, COVID time. Ingredient spoilage. So we know that we're anticipating, and there already is, some shortages, whether it's due to farming, manufacturing of produce, meats. We have to be careful about what we're using. We don't have the same capabilities that we did before. Either the cost is way too high than what we can actually manage. And we know that we're really going to be cost conscious right now. We still have overhead to pay for. We still have these kitchens. We still have labor to pay for. So looking at what our ingredients are, which ones have longer shelf life, which ones have multi-purpose. You know, getting really creative with some of this stuff means that we can have a few ingredients that probably are used over and over again, but without consumers necessarily being able to pinpoint that. So maybe there are things to help develop flavor. Maybe it's something that works as a base that you build on to make 7 or 8 different dishes, right? So taking that into consideration. Food safety, always food safety. You know, the number one question I think that I've received from, in my personal life, friends and family, is asking me, you know, how comfortable do I feel about getting takeout or delivery from restaurants right now? And my response is, I'm always going to order from a place that I know has good food safety practices. So this doesn't change it. You know, if a restaurant is having good HACCP protocol, if they have good food safety, if I know that they're being cautious, those are the ones I would be ordering from during regular times anyway. But I think also right now it's about the communication factor of it, you know, and this is going to be a lot of prior to ordering. I did actually see an operator that I ordered from the other day send me kind of like a detailed note on the precautions that they're taking, but it was with my delivery. So I had already made that purchase decision prior to actually knowing that those were the extra steps. So somehow that can be communicated on a website or through your delivery platform. That's the way to really get to do it. And the last part that we have here is the compulsory protection part. So of course, this is keeping your kitchen clean, you know, making sure that utensils are turned over properly, you know, glove use, mask use, the new normal, if you will. So it's just taking kind of those extra precautions, and I really don't see that going anywhere after we kind of get a little bit more comfortable and get into our groove. So these are just a few different food delivery, curbside, takeout, whatever, as long as it's out of restaurant dining safety tips. Again, a lot of them common sense. So now we want to talk about the actual menu aspect of this. So we have a few tips on what can make a really good takeaway menu. So the first tip that we have is to exceed expectations. So we know that we want to do this every time. Obviously, you know, we're always going to aim high. We want to give our customers the best. But if delivering through an app or through your online site, one, you're likely not going to have the same menu that you have regularly. Secondly, you want to be able to give people options. You want to be able to show them what you're capable of to really draw people into ordering from you as opposed to making their own meal at home. But it can be kept simple. So the menu doesn't have to be, super compact necessarily, but it can be a few items with lots of perceived variety. And you see how I said perceived variety, not well, apparently. But what I mean by that is having really impactful flavors that are very difficult to recreate at home, but also using some of the same ingredients, right? We talked about that before, streamlining your pantry. How can we get the most out of it? So it's going to be that perception of that variation on the menu, but it might take one or two other ingredients that either add a certain bold flavor impact here or give a different texture or format over here. And of course, complete meals are going to be a big aspect of it. So, being able to offer beverages. I even had a colleague say to me the other day, with Mother's Day coming up, for instance, that people wanted to have either takeaway and bake items, or they wanted a delivery meal, but they also wanted the beverages, the dessert, the appetizer. They wanted to be able to get flowers, because you also don't want to have to go online and order from, 6 different vendors to get everything you need. If there's a possibility that you can offer more to make it a one-stop shop, great way to go about it. So the next one that we have here is highlighting wholesome dishes. So the big thing is, here we go, next slide. So we have our highlighting wholesome dishes, thank you. And to really help increase the sale of specific dishes, it's about highlighting that wholesomeness that they have. So, I know that we're really in a very indulgent phase right now. I know that I've probably allowed a lot more indulgences, sorry, words are hard today, than I usually would have. And I'm like, well, it's not forever. But at some point, we're going to start thinking about being a little bit more health conscious, especially as we start moving back into the workplace, realizing that we can't keep up the hamburgers and fries forever, although will still be a big part of our diet. Don't get me wrong. That's why they call it a balanced diet. And making sure, though, that you really do highlight those healthy options, or wholesomeness, rather. And also just the benefits. So whether you're going to promote local, sustainable, allergen awareness, having those is really going to keep you ahead. I'm sure I would have brought it up at some point, but I might as well just show my cards now. I'm actually a diagnosed celiac. So for me, gluten is something that I absolutely cannot have. And I have my specific restaurants that I know I can safely dine at. Having something like that advertised as well, massive. Because there may be more places that I could eat at, but I would never even try them because I just don't know. So again, being able to highlight those aspects or modifications that you can actually make. And then the third tip we have here, and then we're going to get into the fun cooking part, aka my dinner. Value with family style dishes. So we know that all diets want good value. They want more. They want to pay less. When do we want it? We want it now. And family sizes actually are a great way to show a lot of value. Other thing too is it takes a lot of stress off your kitchen labor as well, right? So when you're thinking about like individual dishes, lots of different ingredients, I think about cooking in bulk and getting that out the door. Or things that you can freeze, self-frozen. The one disclaimer that I would have about family style is a lot of it, or some of it, can actually entail reheating at home. Have the proper reheating instructions. I heard an anecdote the other day that reheating instructions for somebody's dish was to put it in the oven at 200 for 15 minutes, and they were trying to figure out why it was still cold in the middle. Well, 200 degrees for 15 minutes isn't going to do anything. I don't even care what you're heating up. It's not going to do anything. So making sure that you have really easy to follow heating instructions, because a lot of us think it's common sense, right? We work in the kitchen. We think, well, you know, obviously they know to take the foil lid off at such and such time because we want to get a nice browning on the top or whatever it might be. Not necessarily common sense to the consumer. So something to watch out for when it comes to family style meals. So that being said, let's get cooking. Natasha, did you have anything else you wanted to add? Jay, I want to make sure I'm still not alone here.
We can hear you and it all sounds good.
Amazing. So welcome. I'm going to take these off now. They're just my reading glasses. So clearly my kitchen was not set up for presentation style cooking. I wonder why the condo owner never actually thought of that. So I'm actually here in downtown Toronto. Hey Toronto, I don't know if we have any other Torontonians on here. I know that my other colleagues here are in Vancouver and near Edmonton, so they couldn't be further away from us, you guys. And I also wish you were here to help eat some of these leftovers. But I'll do my best here. We're going to do a variation of 3 different dishes, but kind of using the same sort of base for it. So I'm going to take a little bit of a Japanese theme, and I'm sure throughout all of this, you're going to hear my obsession with Japan. I actually just recently went on this trip. Probably the last one I will go on for a while. Oh my God, it's so sad. But I loved Japanese culture and cuisine way before then. I don't know if it's the knives that I have that drew me to it. And yes, I bought a brand new knife while I was there. But that's what we're going to focus it on today. So lots of flavor, but lots of basic ingredients. So if anyone else has ever been to Japan, it's about having good, simple ingredients and good technique, right? Like, can you pick something else that's easier than that? I don't think so. I am not going to try to make sushi. It's not going to happen. That's the thing I absolutely have to order. Rice. If you can get your hands on it, it's gold. But that's what we're going to use today. So our base for everything is going to be a Japanese style fried rice. Again, can't think of anything more economic than a fried rice, but it's the flavors you add and it's the smaller components that you add that can really make it super flavorful. And again, have a consumer say, well, I'm not going to make that at home. So that's what we're looking for. Also something that can be really good family style. So you probably saw me toss in a mixture here. The mixture that I had was, well, for me it was tamari. So obviously I had to go gluten-free. And then soy sauce for anybody else. And it was also sesame oil and mirin. If you haven't had mirin, it is a fermented sweet seasoning liquid. So it just adds that hint of sweetness to it. You can get it almost anywhere, like Sysco. So CJ, see how I dropped that in there? And also in this, we have our more intense flavors. So we actually have, Unilever has a product that is concentrated liquid seasoning that creates the umami sensation. So that like fattiness that you get, that flavor profile beyond the sweet, salty, bitter, sour, etc. But this one is made by having miso paste as well as kombu, so seaweed, and porcini mushrooms. And that's how we really achieve that robust flavor profile. So that's in here too. So I'm bringing this up to a higher heat, my liquid. I'm going to toss my rice in. So it's the pre-cooked rice. I was actually saying last night, instead of me cooking up rice, I should have just waited until we got our Thai food delivery and just ordered extra. But like the dry day-old, 2-day-old rice is like absolutely the best to use. So if you have rice and other dishes that you want to be fresh, this is obviously a great way to use the leftovers. I also have never said no to a sushi pizza. So if you want to take that old rice and also form it together, some people cover it in breadcrumbs, but just give it a good fry, get it crispy, and then top it with whatever you want. Of course, doing some like nice fusion. So adding something from maybe a different type of cuisine might also be a cool way to go. So the rice is obviously going to suck up a lot of that liquid. Take that heat on. While we're doing that, just for the sake of time, because I know I only have you lovely people for a limited amount of time, is I'm going to start a component for the next dish that I'm going to make that will also include the Japanese fried rice. So that's going to be a ginger tofu. So I've really been enjoying this a lot. A really good friend of mine is vegan, and she has gotten me to explore tofu in what I never before would have thought that I'd be like making tofu regularly. But I am now. I often turn it into a chorizo type, which is really just putting all the typical chorizo seasonings. So this is actually kind of replacing ground pork or ground chicken, and it's going to be very intensely ginger. So for that one, what we're going to do is we are going to add a little, and by that I mean a lot, of oil to my other pan here. My brand new pan that I got, my blue carbon steel pan. I was just telling Jay I was so excited about it. I'm still in the process of seasoning it properly, so I think this will be a nice experience for it. The thing with the rice too, as you're cooking the rice, is making sure that you get enough heat on it, that you're taking out any of that extra moisture. You really want like those coated grains of rice. I mean, I'm not saying like greasy, but like where it's the nice coated grains. The other thing that I'm going to add in here right now is I have thawed, because of course I bought it frozen, shelled edamame beans. So I'm going to add that. So that's delicious. It adds some bulk to it. This is where also really any sort of leftovers that you might have or excess of something, so if it's bell pepper, carrot, you know, king oyster mushroom that maybe is just looking a little, this is a great place to put it into. So we're going to give that a little bit of a stir. I did not forget about my tofu. So what I'm going to do, because I need this on here for a while, is I'm going to put the tofu in first. Not the garlic, not the ginger. Of course, we don't want it to burn. So the deal with the tofu that I've realized about the chorizo that I've done, is that you need oil. You really want it to brown. So I'm not gonna stir this a ton. And then I'm gonna end up adding onion sooner than the garlic and the ginger, and then the garlic and the ginger. So we'll get this in another little bit of a stir. I'm also going to add a little bit of sugar to the tofu as well, because we know it's super bland, so I want to make sure that I hit all of the flavor palette indicators. So I know that I'm going to have things that are very umami-esque. I'm going to have the sugar, so I'm going to give the sweetness to it. And you're going to see inside my fridge, and it's a mess, but I'm going to add actually some more tamari to it. So that'll also help give it that nice darker color to it. Of course, we don't want to necessarily know right off the bat that it's tofu. Not that we're trying to trick anybody, but it's a nice option to have something different, right? So if you wanted to use an actual meat protein, I would say, you know, chicken, pork, again, with the lots of fat in there, with the natural flavors that are coming out. I don't think you necessarily need to be adding the sugar, but definitely keep with a lot of the ginger, maybe overcompensate with some of your ginger and garlic. So yeah, really simple, but just a few solid ingredients. So I know you can't see it yet, but I am getting some browning on here. Like I said, apartments not set up for cooking shows. So you have to forgive me on that one. And if also you can see afterwards, there's just going to be like rice and tofu all over the floor here. So we're really getting here to the end of the rice. And what I wanted to do, but I didn't actually get my hands on it, full transparency, was pickled ginger. I feel like adding pickled ginger to the rice and warming it, so chopping up that pickled ginger, is a really nice, unexpected kind of bite of acidity to it, especially because you already have all of those very fatty flavors between, you know, your soy sauce, the miso intense flavor. It really gives it some interesting kick to it, especially because, I mean, this is going to be a rice dish, and we're going to be adding some fake, I say fake, it's real chicken, but yakitori style. So if anyone has not had chicken yakitori, it was pretty much what I ate all throughout Japan, except typically they will brush it with soy sauce. So for me and the gluten, I had to ask for just salt, not a problem, still had a ton of flavor. What they do is they actually will skewer the chicken meat, chicken thighs traditionally, and grill it over a charcoal grill. Now I've looked into like, can I get a little one for outside on my balcony? Like I really want to recreate it. That not being the case right now, but really wanting a recreation of a really intense charcoal flavor. I actually added a smoke variant that we have in that same intense flavor line. It is not like liquid smoke. This has a thicker consistency to it. It has caramelized sugar and onion. It has a variety of different smoked woods in it. So it's more of a robust, rounded flavor. So I added that to my marinade that had soy sauce, maple syrup, and some mirin. I love that I'm looking at it like it's going to give me the answer. What did I put in you? So that's what I got in there. And then I grilled it actually in my cast iron pan. So I kind of, yes, got the look of the charred grill, but also got that flavor from that intense smoke that we have. All right, so I'm going to turn down the heat on my tofu. I've turned off my rice. I'm going to add my onions to the tofu. Forget about it. I'm going to add the ginger and the garlic too. This is why I chose cooking and not baking. And I'm sure a lot of you may feel the same way. Sure, I'll add it, whatever. So, I add a pan of water. So we're getting that all in there. I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce as my liquid, kind of moisten this up a little bit. Sorry if that's a trigger word for anybody. Give our soy sauce in there. So we got this going on. It's looking cute. I'm just going to let it sear a little bit more and really let those flavors meld, let the onions soften a little bit more. So I'm going to show you. This is my chicken yakitori. So we have some extra marinade in there. I'm going to plate the first dish, and then I will quickly be able to get started on the second dish. So actually, I need to cool this off. I'm going to put it in my bowl here. All right, groovy. I can't tell you, so I can tell you this part. I live in a condo, and how many times the smoke alarm or fire alarm for the building, not because of me, has gone off, and I'm convinced that it's because people are trying to cook like for the first time in a long time. So I can't let that happen today and have it be me, because I feel like that would be exceptionally embarrassing, especially walking out of a building with a fire truck and I'm wearing a chef jacket. What were you doing? Oh, nothing. I was watching TV. This is what I wear. So we have our bowl. Got these nice, of course. I love eating everything out of a bowl. There's my Vanna. You're welcome, Jay. So I'm going to put some of my rice in here. And what's also really nice, probably because I got distracted talking at you guys, is that I actually got some crispy rice too, because I let it go a little long on the pan. So what we're going to do now is, you could dice this up, but let's just do a whole chicken. We'll get it in there. So of course, really easy to transport, right? If you're doing takeout or delivery, you can still keep it quite warm. If you want to do it family style, serving all the chicken yakitori in one separate reheatable container and then doing the rice in another one, a nice way for people to start sharing foods. Really, really easy dish. Sorry, I want to make sure I get a good brown on that tofu. And for the sake of television, I'm going to sprinkle with some green onion, some sesame seed. If you wanted to serve, let's say, sesame seed on the side or a mixture of some shredded nori and sesame seed on the side, maybe some togarashi spice mix would be really nice. The other thing you could do too, anybody that knows me that's watching knows that I love putting mayonnaise on everything, and no, it's not just because we sell Hellmann's, but spicy mayo. I will put spicy mayo on everything. I would absolutely say go ahead, put this on your chicken in your rice bowl. Amazing. So here, I should probably come closer. This island's in the way. And also, I don't know how, Jay, but I have these recipes written down so we can absolutely share them with people afterwards.
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to make a little bit of departure now. We know that we have our gingered tofu. I am going to, oh, I didn't add the sugar to it. We'll pretend I did. Added the sugar to the tofu. We're going to make a burrito. Why not? It is craveable, delicious. So, yes, gluten-free. I know you're all worried about my intestines. So I have my tortilla wrap here. Again, if you want to sell this as like an assemble your own burrito at home and give them all the components and the tortillas with heating instructions, amazing. Or just as a quick grab and carry, whatever, pre-wrap it. So let's see if my wrapping skills live up to things. So you can see I'm using the rice. That was the Japanese fried rice that we already did. The tofu in, again, I don't know why I keep trying to do quotations, in replacement of any sort of meat that I might have already otherwise done. So we'll do that. Oh my God, all the ginger. Oh my God. So we got the ginger, tofu. And then we also have some extra ingredients here, some lovely julienne vegetables. I wish they always just came like this. And I'm going to say attributed to my lovely Japanese knife. So carrots, cucumber, red pepper, put whatever you want in it. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be delicious. You're going to get the rice and the tofu. And this is where I am legit going to put some mayo on it. Okay. So in on the sides. Whoop. Oh, this is so embarrassing. It's because people are watching. It's like Murphy's Law. I'm going to roll it up. And then what I would do is I like to seal it by putting it back on a flat top or a pan. And then I can get kind of it closed a little bit more. And because it's gluten-free and I didn't heat that one up, of course it broke as I did it. So we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. So that would be our burrito. So that was our second dish. We've already knocked out 2 dishes. And then, I know you're not going to be surprised. Guess what's popular right now? Oh, bowl. Okay, so we're going to do a bowl. Of course, we're going to use, guess what? Japanese fried rice as our base. So we have our Japanese fried rice. Putting a lot of it in there. And this is where we're going to do our greens. So I have some shredded kale. Very hearty, lasts a long time. That's great. Just make sure that you keep some of the moisture away from it. Actually, when I've been getting mine, I've been removing some of the moisture with like paper towels because of course that's going to increase, the moisture will increase the speed at which it degrades. And then I also have some red cabbage here. So we're going to do the kale and the red cabbage. I don't know why I was portioning it. So the dressing that I want to use, I'm going to put it right onto the greens to help build the bowl. Now, of course, offering the dressing on the side in some sort of little solo cup situation, souffle cup, whatever you want to call it. Great way to do that as well, just in case you do have some more delicate greens, of course. Something hearty like this could probably go for a while being dressed and not worrying about it being soggy. So the dressing we have here, I actually made it vegan. So I added Hellmann's vegan mayo to it. I added Japanese sesame paste, ginger, rice wine vinegar, sesame oil, maple syrup, not sugar, and that was it. So super, super easy. And I'm going to use these. So I'm limited on equipment. To give this a little bit of a toss. Also for the visual, I like to add some sesame seeds whenever I make my Japanese dressed slaws. So that I'm going to place on top. Oh yeah, so much talking about. And then I am going to, I pickled some carrots, so quick pickle, you know, water, either rice wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, sugar, salt if you want. I did a quick pickle by bringing it up to a boil, removing it from the heat, and then I poured it in with the carrots in a separate bowl and let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then I cooled it off immediately. So pickled carrot, again, to give it that nice contrast. And then this is where we just garnish with whatever we want. We've got the green onion. I'm going to throw some sliced toasted almonds in here. Why not? I feel like these salad bowls too really like merge cultures often, like not necessarily all traditional. Otherwise, I feel like it would just be that country's dish in a bowl. I feel like adding different components to it. If you wanted to make it heartier, of course, like a roasted root vegetable to it, you can add meat, of course, seafood, whatever you want, using the same sort of marinade that I used for the tofu earlier. And then we have our avocado. I know, not always available, but I'm just doing it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm the one eating this, so just please bear with me. I'm adding some avocado, or as someone said to me the other day, God's butter. I liked that one. Made me happy. So we have our Japanese fried rice with our chicken yakitori. We have our Japanese fried rice green bowl with our shredded cabbage, kale slaw dressed in Japanese creamy dressing. We have our pickled carrots, sliced almonds, and avocado. And of course, we have our ginger tofu wrap here. I'm gonna give that one a little bit of a flip. No, yeah, you broke open. So Japanese fried rice, but now I can just get at the ingredients better. Japanese fried rice, carrot, cucumber, bell pepper, and then spicy mayo. I mean, you can't go wrong. So really easy, great for takeaway. Flavor people aren't necessarily going to make at home, so that's key. And Jay or Natasha, am I kicking it back to you?
Sure.
Great.
Kyla, although I couldn't see what you were cooking as a result of this technology, it sounded delicious.
Oh,
and
no.
I can't try it.
Can you see me now?
Pardon?
I said, can you see me now?
No, I can't see anything except a slide. So I was just listening carefully and enjoying all of the tips.
I can see it.
Well,
It looks
as long as our
phenomenal.
viewers can see.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Kyla?
Yes, I'm available for hire. Yes, I'm very expensive.
All right. Well, then we will, I guess, switch gears for a minute and move to a bit of a different topic, but still in the same vein of, supporting operators during this time, these unprecedented times of COVID-19. So as you can see in some of the work that Kyla just put together in supporting you with your menu and your kitchen, at Unilever Food Solutions, we're always looking for ways that we can help make professional kitchens more resilient and support operators in a meaningful way through our products and our services, such as you've just seen. And that's just never been more important than it is today. And for those of you who are not familiar with Fair Kitchens, this is a program that was launched last year together with Unilever and other partners, other important partners such as Sysco and Restaurants Canada. And the purpose of the Fair Kitchens movement is to promote a more positive kitchen culture and to promote well-being for those who work in our industry. In March, over 800,000 employees in the food service industry lost their job. And of course, that's caused even more stress and mental health issues in our industry, which were already prevalent. And so Fair Kitchens is a platform that aims to bring people together, to offer resources to those who need them, and to really bring people to the forefront and to support those people who depend on this industry for their livelihood. Many people are now not only stressed about sort of the back of house environment being sort of a hot and fast-paced environment to work on that can sometimes be a thankless job. Many people are stressed about how they will pay their rent. Will they be able to pay their landlord? Will they be able to have a successful business model operating at 25% capacity or with only delivery and curbside pickup? So Fair Kitchens has existed as of last year, but has never been more relevant than it is today and moving into the new normal. And why does this matter before and why does it matter even more now? We know that from our research globally that 53% of chefs feel pushed to the breaking point. They're too busy to look after themselves. Many, in fact, 63%, suffer from depression and are exhausted. And many feel little possibility for career progression. And knowing that many restaurants post-COVID will not be able to reopen their doors, that is so relevant today. And it's really important that we connect all of you and those in our food service community in Canada to the resources that they need. We have updated what is called the Fair Kitchens Code, which is really the starting point of the movement. It's been updated since the COVID-19 pandemic. And really the sort of ideology of Fair Kitchens is encapsulated in this acronym TEAMS. So it starts with talking openly about how you're feeling, reminding yourself and others that you love what you do and why you do what you do, returning to what we do and serving our communities with the food that they love. Acting as one to stay connected to each other, whether it be through technology, whether it be sharing best practices in this time like we did today. Making time to do something that you've always wanted to do for yourself and for your community. And many, although they are finding themselves in a position of that they didn't expect to be in, they have more time on their hands. It's good to allow oneself to explore and learn new things, learn new ways of doing things. Maybe preparing a new recipe or revamping a menu. And also to say good job for the small things, even those small successes, especially in times like these, are critical to recognize. And maybe it's just a collection of all those little things that add up to getting through this. So that is the updated Fair Kitchens Code. So everything for Fair Kitchens is really available at fairkitchens.com. That's really the place to go to get all the resources that you need around the movement. And just to highlight some of the resources that are there today, we continually update the links to stay informed about COVID-19, and those are Canada-specific links for provincial and federal support and services that are available, as well as links to Restaurants Canada, for example, the reopening playbook guide that was released. So lots of resources there are linked via the solutions page on fairkitchens.com. Plus, as well, there's free mental health training for chefs, and links to resources and organizations that are there to help support you. And especially in this time, some of those that used to be, behind maybe not available without a registration or a paid subscription have now been opened up and are ungated, if you will. And also, as I just took you through the code, the Fair Kitchens code in a poster form is available for download, or you can request that it be mailed to you. Plus, as well, front of house decals and other resources, and how you can bring the Fair Kitchens code to life in your operation. So I encourage you to go to fairkitchens.com for everything that you would need. And just wanted to highlight some of the things, activities that have taken place since COVID-19 around Fair Kitchens, together with Sysco and Restaurants Canada. The first being a webinar around managing stress and mental health during the pandemic. That is available for download to watch at your leisure, and it's available Restaurants Canada website, as well as both fairkitchens.com and ufs.com. Also, together with Sysco, as part of their podcast series on COVID-19, we put together the Mental Illness Concerns in Food Service podcast, together with a psychiatrist and our North American corporate chef for UFS, talking about how this is relevant to operators and some coping mechanisms and advice. So both of those are available for download whenever, the Sysco podcast, Jay, are available on Spotify and wherever you can access your wherever you access your podcast, I believe. So I just wanted to call your attention to those two resources that are available, and just remind everyone about Fair Kitchens and encourage you to get involved if you can, and use the resources if needed. So thank you for your time. And with that, I'll send it back to you, Jay.
Excellent. I'm playing with the buttons, so I apologize. But anyways, I just want to thank you both for what you've done today and just providing the resources and knowledge into us. And I have to apologize for my hair, my COVID hair, but it's the new do. But it is something I'm just so happy for you guys to be able to share not only these recipes and the ideas, but definitely the stuff that we're doing with you with regards to Fair Kitchens. And it's so important. I think it was one of the phone calls I got. I think it was over a year ago, and there was no question to be a part of it. And we're super happy from Sysco and myself to be a part of that. And just awesome. I'm just speechless sometimes when I hear what you guys are doing with it and all the great things that are coming from it. So thank you again. And then also, Chef, awesome ideas. You know what? I'm going to bring you back up because you're a rock star. There was a comment that says that you have to have your own show now. So we'll work on selling that. I do see you on a show here soon, so we'll get you up. But thanks again for your recipes. Dishes look great. I hope our customers and the people watching today, and we're going to put this up on Sysco Canada's YouTube channel, as well as other areas within Sysco Canada's foodiesunite.ca site. We have so many resources up there. You need to go check it out. We have a SnapBack toolkit area that has all these resources. We were looking at it again today. Me and Katie that's put it together, and the resources are just so valuable for restaurants. And we just didn't throw a whole bunch of stuff on there either. We made sure that it was the right stuff. So we're very happy for that. So once again, thanks again, ladies, and just an outstanding job. Thanks again to Unilever. You guys are a great partner of ours, and we're so happy to be working with you on these things. And next show is next Friday. Am I right, Chef? Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Well, we're excited to.
I said, if you'll have me.
Oh, we'll have you over and over and over again, and we're super happy for that. So once again, thanks to everyone. that was able to jump on and join our show. We're going to bring you more and more of these, like I said, as we move forward. But thanks again, ladies. And for everyone else, we will see you next week. We've got another show coming up on Thursday. We just announced today that me and my old chef, Chris, are coming back to share ideas. So we'll be back. 7 years ago, we did this, and we're going to bring it back. So it should be interesting of going and working with Chris again. So very excited about that. So anyways, everyone else, have a great, fabulous day. Let's get through this. We're going to snap back into our industry, I believe, faster than maybe we think we are. But we're very excited about that. So once again, thanks again. And everyone else, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.